regaining that Lincoln Continental Down car.
Well, I'd like to take a moment, to thank everybody that came up to me and said, hey, we're sorry about the car, and we're glad to see that you got an opportunity to get it back, and we know you're going to do it. And those are the people that I really feel good about now, because I can go out there and say in past tense, we got it back, and we're proud of it.
That's right, and the unique thing about it, Gordon, is, Robert and I came into this area individually, not like the Freebirds who came in as a team and have been a team for a long time. We came in as individuals, and we formed a team upon meeting each other here in the Georgia area, and took on this conquest, so to speak, and we came out of it with our money still in our pocket, and we've got the car back, and we couldn't be happier about it.
Well, certainly I know all of the fans joining me in wishing you the very best of continued success. Right, congratulations,
Thank
Steve.
you very much, Gordon.
Steve, I know that you and I have both discussed it, but the competition in this area right now, for the most part, is so evenly matched that on any given day, a title could change hands.
Well, that's the way it seems, Gordon. I've been all over the country. I've been to Chicago, Denver, Minneapolis. I've been out east, out west, and right now the competition in Georgia is the toughest I've seen at any point in my career throughout the country right now. Titles have changed hands quickly. I've been the national TV champion, and then I haven't been, and now I've regained it. Tony Atlas is in quest of a heavyweight championship belt himself, and that could change hands at any moment. At no other time in my career have I seen the chance where there's so many top contenders in one area, a belt could change hands at any moment.
And we're going to watch the National Television Championship match between Steve-O and Bob Eaton, and I'll have Steve with me so that we can describe the action as it takes place. We're into the match now, and Eaton, of course, has proven to be a double tough competitor.
Well, double tough in that he can wrestle. If Bobby Eaton wants to wrestle, I believe he has the ability, although he's been hanging around lately with some of the Freebirds, so now he's got to get to his psychology, whereas if he gets in trouble, he's trying to think of something, anything he can to get out of trouble, whether it's legal or illegal. And right now he's using everything he can to try to finish me off. I have a lot of respect for Bobby Eaton, because the man can go out and he's a heck of a competitor. I can't stand by the way he goes at it. I mean, as far as with the rules and such, I don't admire his style and things, but right here he's got me in trouble. He's got control of the match, and that's what you try to look for. You try to be in control at all times. The one thing to look for in this match, so Gordon, is that earlier in the match I had injured, or I thought I had injured his right shoulder. So you may see reference in this tape where he goes back to that shoulder. And right now, myself, I'm trying to fight a little fire with fire. I don't like to throw punches, kicks, and forearms myself, because I don't like to wrestle like that. But when it comes down to an eye for an eye or a tooth for a tooth, boy, you do whatever you have to do.
Well, there's certainly no question about that, and that's exactly what you're doing here, is fighting fire with fire. And Eaton, of course, as you said, and you can see now, he is beginning to favor that shoulder considerably, so that the match and that injury is taking its toll.
Well, and it was something you got to watch during the match, too, because you have to feel the tempo of the match, plus you have to feel out your opponent. At sometimes you know you can hurt the man, but you just really don't know how much you have hurt him. And right here, kind of disorientated me, by throwing me off and catching me with a quick shoulder block. But it was one of those quick moves. It was just instinct. And I'll tell you, with a quick 1, 2, 3, and the title's back in my hands.
It was indeed a quick, beautiful rolling reverse, well executed by Steve-O out of Edina, Minnesota. Steve-O regains the National Television Championship, and obviously the fans are equally jubilant with you, and certainly you have proven to be a tremendously popular champion.
Well, it's quite a thrill when you stand in front of the crowd in the Omni. That particular night, there was probably 12, 13,000 people in there, and at the moment when the referee counted 3, I was elated. I was jubilant, jumping up and down, but the fans were there, too, screaming, and I tell you, it's a heck of a thrill.
Well, certainly, congratulations to you again. Steve-O, the National Television Day, Candy. And Tony, I'll give you a chance to get your breath. Tony Atlas, Mr. USA, the man who has, well, you had your chance against the champion, but the champion did a lot of running.
Well, you're right, Gordon. I got out here and I told her, first of all, I want to apologize to all the people here at the television station. I'd like to apologize to all the people out there talking. Last time I faced Harley Race in the ring, I told all the people I was going to beat him. They were my exact words. If you look back on some of the interviews I did in the past, I said, Harley Race, I'm going to beat you for the belt. Like you said, Gordon, I had my chance, and I didn't do this. So right now, I ain't going to get out here tell the people I'm going to do anything to Harley Race.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's go back to the closing moments of that match. Harley Race, at this particular time, has things going his own way. Let's face it, the man has been a professional athlete for over half of his life. Exceptionally dangerous. He's 5 times world heavyweight champion. And Tony, he's got a hard punch.
Yeah, Harley Race, he's a exceptional athlete. And if Harley Race stay in the wrestling long enough, I'd like to see Mr. Wrestling number 2 or Steve or some of the other wrestlers right here in the area get a chance at Harley Race like I did, and maybe they got a little bit more experience than I do. Maybe they can come through and beat Harley Race. I'm going to go back to the gym. I'm going to train, and maybe about a year or so, I'm going to try to defeat Harley Race.
Well, here, of course, you've got him in the sleeper hold. From there, you brought him up that full press over your head, and you were taking it better than 260 pounds at that point in time. And, Tony, right here, you had to feel like it was going your way.
Not really, because I appreciate that confidence, Mr. Sola, but I've wrestled Harley Race many times in the past, and I know from wrestling Harley Race, when you got him in that ring, you can't feel things in your way until that referee says 1, 2, 3 with you on top of Harley Race, because he's a man you don't really know when he. That's why I got mad at the referee right there, because I know what kind of man Harley Race is, but I know they got some wrestlers in this area that could do just as good a job, or maybe I know a better job than what I did, because the only better job you can do is defeat Harley Race. And I know we got wrestlers that could do it, like Wrestling 2, Steve-O, and Charlie Cook, and a host of others.
Here you had to take the battle to the champion. The champion leaving the ring, going on the outside, leaving the confines of the squared circle. It takes on the atmosphere here of the street fight. You were able to reverse things there and get that full Nelson on him. And again, you've got the champion in a lot of trouble, but the problem is you're both outside the ring.
That's right. See, now I tried to get back in the ring right there at that moment. Harley Race holds me to keep me from getting back in the ring. And I had to butt him in order to make back in the ring. But once I got in, the referee said that I was already counted out.
So once again, Harley Race, you see here, you thought you had it, and then suddenly you realized that it was not yours to have. And again, Harley Race, the thing that he prides most in the world is that World Heavyweight Championship belt. He keeps it, but his stratagem in keeping it, his methodology.
Special challenge match, one fall, a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first from Boston, Massachusetts, weighing in at 220 pounds, the Boston battler, Kevin Sullivan. His opponent from Medina, Minnesota, weighing in at 230 pounds, the national TV champion, Steve-O.
Steve-O, the national television champion. And by the way, that robe was presented to him by 2 very, very devoted wrestling fans, Janice and Angie. So Steve-O is in the black trunks, moves out. Kevin Sullivan, 1 fall, 10-minute time limit. Beautiful back leg trip by Sullivan. And let me tell you something. Both of these young men with great amateur backgrounds, they have become outstanding professionals, and they really get back to the basics. Sullivan at the introduction doing some posing out there, and I certainly want to take a chance to congratulate young Tim Peterson, who won the Mr. North Tampa bodybuilding contest recently. Sullivan's been spending a lot of time working out in the gym and has some good, sharp definition of those muscles. And then that back leg trip and through the legs into a lateral press. But look at the way Steve-O moves. Good float over by Sullivan. Now, Sullivan posting that left arm. Steve-O wide out with the leg, and it is quarter Nelson now by Sullivan. Has Steve-O in a predicament here. Has the shoulders almost down, and no, sir. Steve-O able to roll away from it. Back on their feet. Outstanding competition between these two. And as Steve and I were discussing earlier, at any given time, the competition here is so even. Good, beautiful reversal by Steve-O. Has Sullivan back to the canvas. Sullivan back on his feet. Sullivan was held that National Television Championship. Duck under, go behind, a waist cinch. Heel block and a takedown, and it is Steve-O back to the 4-point position, trying to get a sit out, trying to get back to his feet if he can. Well, Sullivan now coming to the far arm and the far leg. And it's Steve-O, the Rock of Gibraltar right now. And Steve-O, good move, suddenly slipped away, reversed, and is now has the ride on Kevin Sullivan. Porter Nelson brings him around. They're into the ropes. The referee calls for the break. And that time Steve-O gets a side headlock as they came off the ropes. Hip lock takedown by Steve-O on Kevin Sullivan. Very even match thus far. Neither man has been able to gain any sort of runaway advantage. To the ropes. And again, the referee calling for the break. And the referee trying to force that break. There's still collar and elbow. Back to the turnbuckle. Good block by Sullivan. Blocks again, but Steve-O caught the brunt of that one. Steve-O back to his feet. Sullivan into a flying head scissors takes Steve-O to the canvas. And so Sullivan now unleashing a more high-powered attack. Steve-O to the canvas. Sullivan started to charge him that time. Tried a cross-body block, but Steve-O blocked him very effectively. A power slam. Kevin Sullivan comes out of it before the count of 3. Steve-O back in again. Good block by Sullivan. Sullivan brings him up. Atomic knee drop, and it is Steve-O again powering out. Full-arm drag and twist now by Kevin Sullivan. Sullivan has the one arm barred across the back, the other one overhooked, and Steve-O trying to keep those shoulders off. And as long as he can get daylight between himself and the mat, he's going to be all right. But Sullivan is really pressing the advantage now. What a contest between these two athletes. You talk about a couple of young lions. We've got them here. Steve trying desperately to move away from that. Frees that one arm. Does break free. Back to his feet. Sullivan on him very quickly now. A win here for Sullivan would automatically put him in a #1 contention for the National Television Championship. Still trapped in those ropes, and now it is Sullivan firing him up. Drops to the canvas. Steve-O up and over his man. Good leapfrog by Steve-O. Steve-O moves in. Hip toss. Broken up by Sullivan. Sullivan catches him. A hip lock takedown. Side headlock. Steve-O trying to roll him into a pinning combination. Sullivan rolls away from it. And it is Sullivan keeping that side headlock. And time is running down on these two. Time is running down in this match between. They're a little over halfway into this match, and neither man thus far has been able to gain that pinfall or submission. Both men trying very, very hard to get that pinfall if they can. For Steve-O, his reputation at stake. For Kevin Sullivan, an opportunity to make him the #1 contender for the National Television Championship. He keeps that side headlock. Steve-O hooks the wrist and is trying to break free from it. Trying to turn him into a top wrist lock, which he has done. And so now Sullivan has his problems. Good escape by Steve-O. He drives Sullivan back. They're into the ring ropes. Again, the referee calling for the break. There's that Sunday punch by Sullivan. Another one that staggers Steve-O, and this may be the beginning of the end for Steve-O. Caught him. A ripping right hand to the side of the head, a lateral press. Steve-O again powers out before the count of 3. And Steve-O's got his problems now as Kevin Sullivan mounts an even heavier attack. An elbow into the chest that drives O back to the canvas. Kevin Sullivan into the pit of the stomach. Now drives the knee into the small of the back. And again, Steve-O fights back. He's out of a pinning combination. Beautiful try for a rolling reverse. He's got him down. 1, 2. Came out of it before the count of 3, and it is Sullivan now using the foot very effectively. Sullivan in behind his man, brings him up. Belly to back souffle. But they collided, their heads collided coming down, and it is Sullivan now the lateral press. But again, Steve-O powers out before the count of 3. And it is Sullivan now in trouble, caught from that atomic knee drop, and it is, no, sir, on the ring ropes. The referee calls for the break on that one. Single leg pickup and a block by Steve-O. And now Steve-O turns that to his own advantage, has him down. No, sir, the bell is rung. The bell has rung. Neither man able to gain a pinfall. A time limit draw. Neither man able to gain a pinfall. And so Steve-O and Kevin Sullivan in a draw match, but an outstanding wrestling match. And you talk about two young men going back to the basics. That's exactly what they did. We saw some fine takedowns, some beautiful rides, some good posts, and they're still ready and willing to continue battling. But referee now, the time limit has expired. The match is over. Certainly, other good news is the fact that Ted DiBiase and Robert Fuller were able to get back their 1979 Lincoln Continental Town car from the fabulous Freebirds. Quite a match indeed, and I thought it might be interesting for all of you to get a chance to look at the closing moments of that match and to watch Robert Fuller and Ted DiBiase emerge victorious from the standpoint of at least regaining the car and keeping their money. And obviously, the Freebirds are, of course, still the... there you see the Junkyard Dog and Michael Hayes handcuffed together at ringside. And it is... Fuller and DiBiase against Roberts and Terry Gordy, and there you see him bringing up beautiful belly-to-back souffle. Roberts in a lot of trouble now. And there's Fuller stepping into the ring, catching Roberts again after a tag was made. And, of course, we're seeing capsule highlights of this match. And good team effort here on the part of both Fuller and DiBiase. Outstanding tag team comedy. There you see the referee accidentally caught by one of the feet of the Freebirds. And it is Robert Fuller. His buddy Roberts has him staggered, catches him with a hard right hand. Ted DiBiase taking care of Terry Gordy in the far corner. There he goes into the famous Fuller leg lock. And Terry Gordy breaking that up. And it's a good thing for Buddy Roberts that he did, because that's an extremely painful hold. Now, outside the ring, and you can see Michael Hayes tripping up DiBiase from the outside. Michael Hayes and the Junkyard Dog still handcuffed together and battling away. And it's DiBiase coming out before the count of 3, and now Fuller chasing Roberts outside the ring. You can see the Freebirds, much as the World Heavyweight Champion, are very prone to leave that ring area as often as possible. And there you see the pin. 1, 2, 3. That's where Robert Fuller regains the Lincoln Continental Town car. And it's all his now. There's no question about that. And Ted DiBiase regained his money. And now, of course, you see what happens here with the Freebirds. They're great at back jumping. And it's DiBiase battling it out with Terry Gordy. Michael Hayes outside the ring having his problems with the Junkyard Dog. And now, of course, Terry Gordy and... with DiBiase over the top ring rope. But the most important thing, of course, was that one pinfall. The pinfall that spelled the difference in that match. The Freebirds, of course, are still the Georgia Tag Team Champions, and hopefully I'll have a word with them here regarding the Georgia Tag Team Championship. On March 1st at the Omni, the Fantasia Gamble. I've had Robert and Ted explain it to me. I wonder if you'd mind explaining it.
Gordon, just hush a minute. Let me tell you something. I've been up all night long. They've been up all night long. We've been flying all night long to get here to explain this match, because for the first time in history, a Fantasia Gamble. Now, these nitwits that come out here are as stupid as the people that come to the arenas that proclaim these people and wish to see them try to beat us. They didn't even understand it. Now, they hit it right when they said that the loser of the first fall must swap out with his partner in the corner in the handcuffs. But what they neglected to say, which is the whole reason for the Fantasia Gamble, is the winner of the first fall gets to unloosen their man in the handcuffs, and then come the second fall, it will be 3-on-2. And I may remind you that when it comes to 3-on-2, you're looking at the greatest and the best, undoubtedly.
Now, you mean to tell me, if you're handcuffed in the first fall, and then if either one of your men win, you're released?
That's right. It's just like this. Either way, we're going to get down and dog.
The Freebirds have done it again, and it'll be March 1st.
15-minute time limit.